podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. Original.
Yoinks! And away!
Basic.
Yoinks! And away!
First edition.
Yoinks! And away!
And then...
I says, Pigpen, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to put the hammer down.
Welcome to THACO, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever. Howdy folks, THACO's Hammer Splat Book number 32. Here we are again. I'm DM Glen with DM Full On Gamer. Say hi.
Hello, Gamer Nation. Welcome to the wilderness.
Welcome to the jungle, sounds like.
No, wrong vocal register for that.
Oh yeah, that's DM Brian. Say hi, Brian.
Oh, hello everybody.
And you know who I am. I already said that. So let's go into hits and crits.
What are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? The burlesque Louis Paradise. Miserable and lonely and stupid. What am I, crazy or something? I got something good here. What am I hanging around with you guys for?
Hits and crits. Hits and crits. What do we got for gaming this week, guys?
Oh, let's see. As previously stated, I'm good to go for the Skype game. We're going to be doing that next week. That would be Sunday, January 13th, I think.
Which will already be passed by the time.
No, I'm sorry, 15th. 15th. Yes. Yeah. By the time you hear this show, it will be probably 2, maybe even 3 weeks gone. But
there may be results to show.
Yeah, there
God.
just might
Wait
be.
and see.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, Glenn,
Yo.
I'm thinking about putting up episodes of our game up on my 4Shared account. So, just to have a place to put it until we can get Vince to, kind of figure out a server to put it on.
Yeah, we're going to be getting a separate. We're going to be getting a separate feed for these when they go live, folks. So we will keep you posted on where, when, and how.
Yeah, for those who are interested, of which there are quite a few.
Yeah.
The D20 radio guys might be able to support that as well because they have an interest in live play podcasts.
Oh, really?
Good.
Oh, then
Have you not listened to Threat Detected, the live play podcast for the Saga Star Wars?
I haven't listened to that lately, no. But if you can convince the powers that be over there to host our game, then it's a fait accompli. We're pretty much set to go. So
Okay.
I'll ask if they have space and room and what the requirements would be. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
So we're getting quite a crowd.
Yeah.
But then again, disasters tend to attract rubberneckers. So,
Now wait a minute.
you know.
Now wait a minute. Let's play the game first before you declare it a disaster, please. My self-esteem can't take hits like that. Are you crazy?
Yeah, the THACO's Hammer live podcast of a 2nd edition game called Brian's Ego.
Yeah, Brian's very fragile ego at that. But anyway.
It's okay. We have not had time to kill nothing yet. We shall see what happens, eh?
I love it.
Incorrigible.
I love it. This is great.
See, great. Yeah, okay, fine. That's what we're up to. I'm still waiting on my Gazetteer 1, and that's about it for me. How about you, Full On?
What? Star Wars? The Old Republic?
Star Wars.
That covers it. Yes, we have killed in the course of... Here, let me just put out one of the stats just for concept. There's over 1 million subscribers as of day one, and in the 8 days of early access, not even the open release, in the 8 days of early access, we killed the entire population of Asia.
Wow.
In NPCs. Over 2 billion NPCs slain.
2 billion?
Billion with a B.
Wow.
No, not wow. Tor. Not wow, Tor.
Holy crap. Sorry.
Holy crapola, yeah.
We've been busy.
Yeah, apparently so.
You think?
Just a little.
Jeez.
Killing 2 billion people takes time.
Yeah, well, how about we go to people skills?
Okay.
The face is familiar.
It's mine.
And so it is.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands out a mile, doesn't it? He's so common.
A little lady comes in here and starts throwing her butt around. What is that supposed to do?
All right, forget I said anything.
Maybe I will.
Well, that's pretty good.
Don't tell me you weren't looking at it.
Well, that's not half bad.
She's giving it right back to you.
People skills.
People skills. We got a kit for you, the Explorer kit out of the Ranger's Handbook.
Yes, indeed.
Page 49.
Mm-hmm.
And it is thus. It is the restless spirit of the explorer makes him the most nomadic of all rangers. So this is like Ranger Plus.
Yeah. Ranger to the nth degree.
Pretty much.
Bear Grylls, got it.
Yeah.
No region too remote, no society too primitive, no to pique the explorer's interest.
Yep, that's Bear Grylls for sure.
Yep, the explorer's skills are invaluable for safely navigating uncharted terrain and negotiating with suspicious natives. His requirements, the explorer must have a minimum intelligence score of 12.
Mm-hmm.
His primary terrain, any, no specialization.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just, Alan Quartermain.
Yeah, Alan Quartermain.
The Great White Explorer, that kind of guy.
Yeah, like we said, Bear Grylls, Survivor Man.
Yeah, he balances the natural impulsiveness with healthy doses of caution and common sense. More a scholar than a brawler. He's usually reluctant to combatant, resorting to violence only when the other options fail. Or if we can get Jim out there, he can see what the Bobcat will do.
Indiana Jones, perhaps?
Marlon
Perkins, perfect. Yeah, Marlon Perkins, perfect, yes. Oh, for that matter, Jacques Cousteau?
Yeah, and if you want the more reckless type, ain't that a beautiful crook out there? Let's go touch it.
What's that? What? Who's
really?
That? Yeah, I don't get it. Who is that?
He's dead.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, your Australian accent was a little off. Yeah, definitely him. I'd call him a Beastmaster.
Now it's time for Glen's ego.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Crikey, yeah, I get it.
Crikey.
Yeah. If you said crikey, I'd have gotten it immediately.
Okay, sorry, I slipped. Yeah. Oh, look at that! It's a beholder.
Oh,
you
God.
want to remember, there's two rules.
He's only on the beholder from behind. These ice dogs, I could be deadly if you see him.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Can you imagine Irwin in D&D? Oh my God!
I got my next D&D Ranger.
He'd be dead in so many ways, so fast. Oh my God!
You gotta watch these displacer beasts. They could be over here. They go, oh, he's over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
anyway,
just oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway, they've got secondary skills. Usual fisher, forester, hunter, navigator.
Yep.
Trapper, barter. As I said, bartender.
No. Barterer.
He favors lightweight, easy-to-use weapons, a short bow like crossbow, dagger, knife, sling, short sword. What I found interesting was has no special armor or equipment requirements.
Mm-hmm.
However, he rarely uses armor heavier than leather, and most explorers find shields awkward and confining. So they got the armor pretty much wide open.
Yeah, if they wanted to, but I could see like an explorer for when he's just out. at the risk of putting a pun out there, ranging around. Yeah, I know that.
Well, I mean, look at their non-weapon proficiency special bonus, survival. The benefits apply in all terrain types.
Yep.
Useful.
Yeah. Oh, extremely useful.
He's a free range explorer.
Oh man, wow. But yeah, I mean, I could see him just doing his thing. most of the times, just in leather armor, maybe studded. But if he knows he's in an area like where there are tons of orcs, like a whole bunch of tribes of orcs or other humanoids that are hostile, I could see him walking around in chainmail.
Right.
Just kind of keeping things on his horse or whatever animal he uses for pack, just in case of emergency.
Right. It's not funny. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that was my girlfriend.
That's okay. Anyway, let's talk about the bennies.
Yes.
He has the capability of learning twice the normal number of languages allowed by his intelligence score. That is impressive.
Awesome.
He gets to use Find the Path. Ability to sense the correct direction. So he's something of an orienteer.
Mm-hmm.
Culture sense, the ability to acquire general knowledge about the laws and customs of the tribe, village, or settlement.
Mm-hmm.
He's C-3PO.
Yeah.
I am fluent in over 6 million forms.
He's a protocol droid, yeah. So that you can apply that in anything from like the biggest city down to like the smallest tribal, village.
And everything in between, yes. For
yes.
sure. And that helps with dealing with them because he gets a reaction bonus, for when they encounter members of this tribe or whatever, and the tribesman's like, I remember you.
And he gets the knowledge by touching a member of the tribe.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Checking his cloaca. This tribe lizardmen are very special.
Yeah, they're carrying shields. Yeah. Oh my God. Who knew this was going to turn into a Steve Irwin meme? Who knew? Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, let's talk about the downside too.
Okay.
Limited and he doesn't get as much animal empathy as a normal ranger because he isn't in one spot very long.
No, he's not. He doesn't get very many followers.
Right. He has very few followers because he likes to work alone, and he's not the kind of guy to settle down and establish a fortification.
Yeah, he's a wanderer until the day he dies, pretty much.
Yeah. In other words, he's not going to stop and run a tavern.
No, not unless something like he lost a leg somewhere. Yeah, like he lost a leg to a.
Well, he's got that bartending proficiency, so he'd do it more of the open bar pavilion kind of way. He wouldn't put up walls.
Yeah, just have a circular bar in the middle of town out in the open. Yeah.
Patio seating is his style.
Wow.
Now, where would we see this? This one kit.
Yes.
This one type of character, I think, would work best in a campaign where the DM has no set environment. What I'm saying is, you got DMs who like to run like an all dungeon crawl or an all wilderness or all. If you got one guy, if you got a DM who's got, okay, this week we're down in Underbound, this week we're over here in the hills, this week we're over on the sea, that would work perfect for him.
Yeah, I mean, it would be different. See, I would think it would work better with a one-on-one game because this kit doesn't really pertain to the adventuring party mindset, at least the way it's described here.
Hmm?
I don't think so.
Would. Especially, it's all about getting out there with an adventuring party and going places.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this especially in a case where you've got a homebrew campaign and world, or you're taking people who don't know a campaign world setting and you're finding out what's there. You're going over the next hill. You're checking out what's across the sea. Mm-hmm. You're looking for what's under the mountains, over the mountains, through the wood, and beyond Grandma's house. Yes.
Oh, well, see, that I would say then that it would make a little bit better for an NPC, for an adventuring party who is foreign to the world the explorer lives in. I tend to overthink stuff like this, so
He's foreign to everything. That's the whole point. He comes up, he touches you, holds you by the hand, rubs your shoulder, brushes through your hair, and then he mentions, oh yes, the paladin just married the village chieftain's daughter by giving her the flowers. Sorry.
Oh boy. Oh boy, that's a problem. And yeah, that oh boy, there's an event there's a role playing concept right there. Holy crap!
And because of all this, if he is in an
Hello,
adventuring-
Mrs. Reynolds.
Yeah. And if he is an adventuring party, a PC adventuring party or whatever, he's going to be the face.
Maybe. If there's not a bard or a paladin in the party, maybe.
He doesn't have to be the face. He just has to be the common sense advisor to the face.
There you go. But yeah, it's a nice little kit. It's just, I just have a different way of looking at it, I guess.
You're in court. You don't know how to behave in this court. He does. He's been here before.
Right. Yeah. Listen to this guy.
Yeah, you can learn. I mean, he can do it in an urban setting.
Well,
too.
I wouldn't say court so much. It's tribe, village, or settlement.
I would also like to put it in an urban environment if he happens to be through one. I mean, he can pick that stuff up too.
Yeah, he could. He certainly could. Crocodile Dundee. Enough said.
Yeah.
Put him in New York City. See what happens.
Yeah, he figured his way around there. I mean, okay, I've been through Waterdeep. You got to watch out for the Thieves Guild is real powerful in there, and you got to watch out for this guy here. Da 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 da.
Yeah,
exactly. And you meet him up in like say Baldur's Gate or somewhere in the north. He's oh, you're going there? Well, when you get there, try this restaurant out over here, or don't piss this guy off, or that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they go through a good list of the different types of ideas of knowledge that you'll be gaining, to include social etiquettes, information about the laws, information about the courtesies between the people, stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see an explorer, using the Forgotten Realms example, up in the north with up near 10 towns. He has knowledge of all of the barbarian tribes, and he can advise the party, okay, this is what you do with this tribe. This tribe you don't mess with at all. They'll try to kill you. These people aren't bad over here, but you have to really watch what you say. Things like that.
Yeah, if you go into this town or this tribe, mention my name. The chief loves me. He'll do anything you want.
And he gives me a kickback.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. I was at the palace. I touched the king. Watch it. He likes sheep.
Wow. Whoa.
It's almost like an ESP or a psionic thing,
Yeah, it could be.
I had a player in one of my groups actually try to nerf himself with this, with the no fortifications rule. He refused to partake in shoring up the defenses of a room the party was holding against an impending attack because it says he will not build any fortifications.
That's ridiculous.
I know. I killed him for it.
Didn't he read the common sense part before this?
Deserve to die.
I guess he missed that part, huh? He
Yeah.
didn't get the memo.
Yeah, I think he did too. Yeah, and he deserved to die for being that stupid.
Anyway, there's a kit for you. Give it a try. Let us know how you do it. THACOshammer@gmail.com and our phone number
405-806-0555.
Done it like a champion. Okay, let's move on to People's Skills. It's in the book.
It's in the book.
You ever go to school, stupid?
Yeah, and I come out the same way.
Is that your idea of an idea?
It's in the book.
Having recovered from that wonderful introduction, it's in the book. We're going to do a little talk about navigation above ground.
Okay.
All you orienteers out there.
Yes. Okay. I mean, at least okay. I'll take point on this one.
Please do.
Okay. I mean, my thing is that when the party gets out of the dungeon, and I'm meaning in a figurative sense, not literal. I mean, when it starts going to where, let's just put it this way: when we used to play basic rules, it was all dungeon all the time. But once the expert rules came out, they expanded it out into the world to where you could go anywhere you wanted to, as long as the DM had information on the region. Otherwise, it was just this big gray wall that you couldn't penetrate.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
I have. To my chagrin, I have done that. Yeah, I know. I'm bad. I'm nationwide. Anyway,
oh boy.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. Anyway, I was just wondering how you guys, handle the, the chances of getting lost. I know with like proficiency such as direction sense, it makes it a much more difficult. Oh, not even so much difficult, just much more defined as to when it happens. But I was just wondering how you guys do it.
You take it full on.
I use a variety of things. I sample from a number of different sources simultaneously and use what's appropriate at the time. Sometimes I use percentiles. Sometimes I use flat die rolls to see if things are going to happen. Sometimes I use, well, not so much that, but also for getting lost, moving around, just the common sense stuff. I mean, if you've got this is where it comes in, where you need to have some of those resources available, like the Wilderness Adventure Guide or the back of the old 1E DMG, things like that, where it will pull up, this is what you have for weather. This is what you have for, moonlight. You're stuck in a black forest type environment. You can't see the sky. How are you navigating? Things like the common sense orienteering rules, things that you don't need to make a skill check for versus things you do need to make a skill check for of some kind. Knowing, okay, I'm just going to trek downhill because downhill will get me towards water and then water is going to take me to more water. Okay, I can try that. Or, okay, it's daytime. I know east and west because the sun's up. If you've got the night sky, trying to navigate by the stars, even on land, this is where the person who took the sailor proficiency, might be useful in an adventuring group on land because they could still try to help you navigate by stars. So letting people use skills in different ways will help them handle the navigation above ground because you've got all kinds of natural assets you can use.
You're right. You're absolutely right. My problem, I've always had the problem of distance.
How so?
Well, getting them from point A to point B, if point A and point B aren't close together, because I'm lousy with maps as far as like, okay, how many miles will they go? How this hex, how big? And it just drives me crazy. I tried in the past to generalize it as much as I could.
Right.
But that would get me into trouble. Because I put the map.
Get tired of the screen wipe and they get tired of the encounter every 5 miles.
You're right.
You've got to find the balance between the two that serves the play, serves the adventure, and serves the party.
Right. I had a party
and stops the party from running out trying to farm pigs in the forest.
Yeah.
Then there's that.
I had one party go from the south side of the map to the north side, and in between where there was a lot of stuff, but most probably there was a swamp that didn't look, I remember this one, but it didn't look too big, and I told him it took 2 days to go through the swamp.
That's about right.
Because of the ROUSs, rodents of unusual size.
Well, the funny thing is on the map, the swamp didn't look to scale. And so it's like, they went in the other direction to go through it. It says, how long does it take? 2 days. Oh, this must be the infamous 2-day swamp. Okay. No matter what direction you go, it's going to take you 2 days.
The 2-day swamp. Well,
it's going to take you 2 days to go through the swamps. All right. Sorry, guys.
You know what? I'm
really bad at distances.
Well, no, you want to know what? That's when you default to the catch-all explanation of D&D. It's magic!
I have.
No matter where you go, even if you go take one step in, you're sucked in, and it takes you 2 days to get out. So there.
You want to know what? I don't have to do that. They start doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it must be some kind of hallucinatory terrain type spell. So I just sit back and let them go.
Yeah, that's exactly
what weird tribes who this is a 95-mile long swamp, but it only takes 2 days to cross. That means there must be tribes maintaining wood bridges and paths throughout the swampland, while this other swamp that's only 8 miles wide has got 250-foot deep sand traps of quicksand and lightning sand, and
Well, you know what Gollum said: "Don't follow the lights."
Yeah.
But anyway.
I'm not saying there wasn't any encounters in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they did fight like lizard men and stuff.
Dire giant vorpal mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are sturges. Anyway,
That's
but
right.
I mean, the thing is that the best way I found it when the party's moving overland, if you have your map and you have those wonderful little hex maps that were included in the Forgotten Realms settings box sets. You use that, and you just had to do math. You just had to. Now, the thing is that it all depended on which way the party decided to go. If they decide to stick to the roads, which of course is the fastest way to go, or if they decide to cut over land, which of course is what you what you hope they do, because then just encounters galore. Let's see, your movement rate is slowed. It's gonna take a lot more time. It's always been faster to go around a big forest, a major forest, than to go through it.
And of course, there's also the player's choice of how they're going to do that travel, whether they're going to force march, whether they're going to ride the horses till they drop, whether they're going to check for traps every 10 feet crossing open terrain.
Who the hell did that? Did somebody actually do that, full on?
Well, I am partially to blame.
Of course.
A pit trap on an open road?
Well, not an open, broken spire keep.
Oh, I see.
Burmese tiger trap. Don't you know about that?
Hey, yeah, that open kill field that they cut around the keep was trapped. So were the woods around it.
Wow, unbelievable. But I'm looking at the modifications in the Dungeon Master's Guide about movement cost and things like that. It's pretty well defined, and all you have to do is just do your math. Say going from Specularum to Threshold. If you go by road, it takes this long. If you decide to cut across land, it takes this long. And of course, that's modified by the terrain you're going through. Now, of course, if you stick to the road, and as we all know, Karamakos has really good roads. If you stick to the road, you will get there a whole lot faster with a whole lot less hassle than if you decide to, go north out of town and just start going straight through forests. Of course you find...
Dead reckoning, we going that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right through Orkland.
Yeah, right through them, right where them goblins be, yeah.
And I believe in D&D you can buy a compass.
Yes, you could.
Okay.
It would cost you a whole lot of money, because that's some technology that's quite scarce, at least I look at it.
Lodestones don't get used for compasses. They get used as material components.
That's true, too. He's right.
Well, you get...
They consume them all.
I guess you can't do the old magnetic needle in a bowl of water, huh?
You could.
Depends on how willing your mage is to throw around lightning bolts.
Here, charge this. I'm holding it right here.
Yeah, exactly. It'll hurt just a little bit. It'll hurt just a little bit. All right, so
throw the snake sigil on the paladin, then you throw lightning bolt at him, and you float him on a leaf. On a raft.
Well, that's only if he's got full plate. Plate mail may not be enough. Wow.
I guess where they had like small compasses and stuff but you're probably right. Something's invented, it always starts out big, and then you miniaturize it.
Exactly. Even so, I could see, a clockmaker or something like that being able to create one, but like I said, it's going to be expensive.
My steampunk influences come out again.
Yeah, here we go.
Gnomes, I'm sure they have compasses.
Oh my God!
Where?
You do not want a compass from a Tinker Gnome. You don't.
You could always ask the Kinder.
Oh God!
Yeah, I was going to say he makes it for you. You take it, and the Kinder steals it. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And has a random chance to pull something useful out of their pockets.
Yes.
Go that way.
We're lost. Oh no, we're not. No, we're not. I have this thing
lost.
here.
We're never lost. We're exploring.
Yeah. The ignorant adventurer's motto right there. We're not lost. We're exploring. You're right.
Yep. So no compass. I guess that would rule out ship's whatever they call it, the thing we.
Well, again, part of the whole thing for the old overseas voyages, they wanted to stay within sight of land because they didn't have compasses. There was no latitude, longitude calculations hadn't been invented yet, so they couldn't do them.
Oh, wait a minute, Glenn, you've got Auroras there. They don't have compasses in there?
I'm looking as we speak.
Okay.
But the rest of the navigation tools that they had for, sighting by the stars and stuff like that kit was available. Those existed in this time.
Now, what is that?
Artificers would make.
Okay.
What?
So sighting by the stars, you said?
Yep.
Yeah. Your standard navigational tools that they had at the time before the compass still included, your navigational tool set for ships piloting. They still had that.
Yeah,
you take the charts, you take some sightings and readings, and you check off your map, and you can start navigating that way.
Yep.
Right, as long as you can see land.
Yep.
Well, no, before that, even without being able to see land. The ones that were competent to do it without seeing land.
Yeah, because the stars are fixed points in the sky for the most part. And
your movie, not them.
Exactly.
What?
No, I agree. I just like the way you said it. I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's more kit for you to have to haul around with you and potentially lose and have to steal back from the Goblin tribe because we're lost. Wait, exploring without it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's where, of course, the saving grace is somebody having direction sense and navigation. That way, usually you're not going to get lost most of the time. But even the best navigators and explorers of the day, they got way lost. Columbus didn't mean to land where he landed. He was off by hundreds
half a planet off.
Yeah, exactly.
Thousands of miles. He was half a planet off because he thought he was in the East Indies.
Yeah, and he wasn't. How could he get? Oh God! Well, never mind. I won't say anything about that. The East.
See, his map did not include that big continent in the middle. He thought it was. I'm just going to go this way across. It's a round planet. There's nothing in the way from here to there, right?
Wrong. Yeah, very wrong. But
you know what?
Yes.
You know what I've come to a conclusion of?
What's that?
Aurora's needs an index.
That's a very good thing. You know what? I'm going to run a Google search.
Yeah, you run a Google search on that, and we will. Shall we move on?
Well, yes, so there's a compass. They did publish a compass for D20 system. It's on page 91 of the Ultimate Equipment Guide. It costs 200 gold pieces, and it weighs a pound.
That's okay. But that's a small price to pay to not get lost.
Yeah. And it works by suspending a needle of lodestone in oil. The oil sealed in a metal cylinder with a glass face, which again makes it something you can break.
Yeah, you need to put it in a rather strong case.
Mm-hmm.
That fireball took out my compass. I don't know where I am.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. And then there are wonderle little rules when you're lost.
I'd be more concerned about large falls than fireballs.
That's that too. But once if you lose your compass and nobody has direction sense, that's when the real fun begins.
Yeah, above ground and a compass is always good below too. So, in the Underdark.
Yes, indeed.
Tell us all about it, people.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All about people at the usual places. And we're going to go to Rule 0.
One would think you've been doing this all your life.
We'll remember you said that.
I know. I'm sure you hate me just enough.
Rule 0.
Rule 0. Overland movement and random wilderness encounters.
Okay. This kind of... Go ahead.
Kind of related to the last segment.
Yeah, it dovetails into this, yes.
So, we're talking about, overland movement, about, how long it takes, this thing like that?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, basically, the DM's guide and the Venerable Wilderness Survival Guide pretty much covers that. And
I've checked some of those numbers physically, and they are pretty accurate if you really want to push yourself for it, because I do land nav, I do, for the Army, I do ruck marches, I do dead reckoning and over terrain stuff, and it's pretty accurate, especially if you consider it's for people carrying a pack.
Yes.
Yep.
And most adventurers are. They're carrying armor, weapons, equipment. When Gary came out with these rules, or not even Gary, but when back in the God, now I'm forgetting the strategy. The strategy game when he first came out with it, he was pretty on as far as how far.
Chainmail.
Yeah, Thank you, chainmail. He was pretty much right on as far as humans go, as far as how far they can move in a certain amount of time, walking normally, jogging, running, that kind of thing. Right. I disagreed about the demi-humans. I think dwarves don't move that slow, but that's just me. But as we were saying,
they're good sprinters.
Good over short distances.
Yes.
There are great real-world examples you can compare against. For very athletic people, you've got marathons. For people for running, if you want to look at what it takes for overland movement, let's see. The Nijmegen Death March, which is a sponsored event that happens annually in Germany. Military people partake in it and all kinds of stuff like that, and civilians. And there's the loaded and unloaded versions of it, and it's basically 35-pound pack, 25 miles a day for 4 days.
Wow.
That's it's a killer. It's a backbreaker.
Yeah, I would die. Yeah, I'd die trying to do it. You kidding me? But yeah.
Oh, God. And just think of what your character is going to feel like at the end of we moved all day and we did our standard 24 miles of daily movement on foot from here to there.
Yeah, why do you?
Now we're going to have encounters overnight.
Yeah,
great.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why all the normal people think adventures are crazy because of all that. What I was going to say is that okay, as far as overland movement, while a party is going from point A to point B, I know how I do it. I just want to get you guys opinions on it. When it comes to random encounters, how many, how often?
You mean when that die falls on a 1?
Mm-hmm. How many times do you check?
Day or
I
night?
Say it depends.
Day or night?
Either one. Well, only the really insane PCs do their movement at night, unless they're in the desert.
I was thinking of like when they make camp.
Oh. No, I meant you're just moving like.
Just moving?
Yeah, through the day. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Making camp once an hour. Daytime, moving, I'd give it like once every 3-4 hours.
Okay.
I don't
sounds right.
I don't tie myself to any one particular thing. I actually bounce around and do it variable. It depends on what type of environment they're moving through. Is it a civilized land? Is it a barbaric, untamed land? Is it a known infestation of Monster X land? Are they traveling carefully and trying to be stealthy? Are they openly jangling along? It's all going to depend on what they're doing to make the travel faster or make the travel safer. And where they're doing the traveling at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is where the clerical spell sphere of travelers comes in real handy. If you have a cleric in your party that has that sphere in his repertoire, that makes traveling, camping, overnight protection, all that kind of stuff. It makes it a lot easier to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to summon the fire horses and chase down the beast's mountain. Oh wait.
Wow. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, and you guys are going to run into this in my game, I usually go like 3 checks every like 6 hours or something like that, or something close to
reasonable.
That. Like it's like either 1 every 2 or 1 every 3. Like I said, it's been 5 years since I've run a game, so I'm a little.
And remember, counters aren't always
no
fighting.
No, they're not.
There are a lot of benign encounters out there. Look, you see a deer. Look, this guy wants directions. Look, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can be environmental encounters too. Like, hey, you've come to the place where the waterfall is. It's time to portage. Hey, you've come to the place where the swamps are, so it's time to kayak for a bit. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Actually, I put that in there for Brian's sake, so he'd remember that.
Put what? Huh? Huh?
But I said encounters not always fighting. I put that in there for your sake, so you.
Oh well, now now you just screwed yourself. Anyway, yeah. But my whole thing was that it's like you journey for 6 hours, like you start at like 7 in the morning or at sunrise or whatever. You journey until midday, stop for lunch, you rest for a couple of hours. It's sort of like walk, couple of rolls, stop for lunch, there's a roll there, then you go on until sundown, and then
it's also
pick
important to
go ahead.
It's also important to consider if it's going to the circumstances of this movement. Are you just trying to get from point A to point B? Are you chasing someone? Are you being chased by someone?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, the whole first half hour of Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, that's a perfect example of it. Where, Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas are chasing down a freaking party of
I'm not going to run all the way to Isengard!
And who would have thought?
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Yes. Saruman. It's like, let's catch them because those guys are dead if we don't catch up to them. Yeah.
What did you say?
All right. That's one of the reasons why I decided in my ever so finite wisdom to use a nice little database program called Master Plan. And you can basically come up with encounters for whatever terrain you're moving through. I'm about 3/4 of the way done with it, but that's including monsters with full stats and all that kind of stuff. So it is a little time consuming, but I don't feel like rolling on a 2D20 chart. It's not varied enough. It never was for me. And it's basically one of those things. I click on it and it'll give me a random setup. You guys could run into a party of ogres or a herd of cattle. And usually when they run to a herd of cattle, it's like, I break my bow out. We need dinner.
Yeah. So this is called, what is this called? Master Plan?
Master Plan, yeah. It's a nice little program. It's sort of like, it's kind of based off Microsoft Excel, but it's got RPG elements in it.
I've seen other things like that, like Excel spreadsheets and other programs for encounters and things like that.
Right.
I still like to keep that kind of thing off of the computer and in my hands in a book, and I'll just do the math and figure it out, because I still want to be able to have the situation where you encounter the ogres with their herd of cattle in a sandstorm.
Well, see, I don't go that far with it.
I will.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I have no doubt that you will. And people wonder why I'm running the game. But anyway, moving right along.
Yeah, so you've made handmade encounters before, Brian, not using, did you used to like take the pencil and paper out and
Yeah, I mean, I used like the charts in like the monstrous compendiums. I've used just things like that, but the problem is it's like a range of 2 to 20 it's just not broad enough. There's not enough there.
Right. But I was saying, you broke out the pencil and paper, do your own.
Yeah, I did that, and it was really time consuming. And when I started getting
this is sometimes it's best to go extra old school for things like this, and you can get some very good encounter charts from your first edition Dungeon Master's Guide.
Yeah,
use those environmental encounter charts in your 2E game.
If you're not worried about, and also if you're not worried about having a whole big range of monsters in your game, go on the Rule Cyclopedia. They got great charts for that in there.
That's true too. But I've settled on this one thing, and I have to see it through. I'm just
okay.
It's just I've started it.
It's your quest. It's your quest, my son.
It's my
Another thing that you can do for those that have them is your AD&D Core Rules 2.0 encounter templates.
Yeah, which
Click
I actually
a button
use
and have an encounter with magic items and hit points and monster names.
I do use
ready to roll.
Yeah,
Core Rules. Forget about that.
Yep. That's a
Those
wonderful
awesome
resource
to print out too.
Yep.
Yes, ready to print. Stick it on a card. Throw it in the encounter. Have them ready to go.
Yeah. And
I don't care where they go. You're going to encounter these. I've got this beautiful sturgeon counter. I'm going to use it every time in my 2-day swamp.
In my 2-day swamp, exactly. Oh my god!
I think I made the mistake on that. I'm telling him it was like 15 miles long or something like that. It takes 2 days to get across this. That's like I didn't think this.
Yeah, there's no road going through the swamp. You got to go.
Cannibal lemurs.
Cannibal lemurs, lizard men, gator men. Yeah.
Oh god! Again, another Night Below story. The sunken mire where everything is getting inundated and turning swampy in farmlands.
Mm-hmm.
The party decided to navigate and check that area out by kayak.
Oh, that was a mistake. Should have been a big raft.
Canoes and kayaks. That was their plan, to give them individual tactical maneuverability options and not.
You don't have that in a kayak. You just don't. If something comes up out of the water, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna rant on that. I'm just gonna I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
It was their plan.
Yeah, it's a bad.
So what did you have them portage over and get attacked by these?
They also figured it was easier to carry kayaks and canoes than it was to try and portage a raft in the times when they came across dry land, which was not a bad call.
No, that's not. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
They knew they were going through marginal swampland, not constant Everglades.
So you don't have to worry about the portliest adventurer being kidnapped and you hear him squealing like a pig in the background.
Oh, ouch.
Ouch.
And Burt Reynolds with a bow. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay.
Paddle faster. I hear banjos.
Yes. If you hear banjos in the swamp, you run. Run. Don't walk. Run.
This is a random in wilderness encounters, and our brains are pretty much emptied out.
Yeah.
Right there in front of you. So why don't you do the same on osrgaming.org and all the other places?
Wow. Okay.
Now we got Loaded for Bear.
Bet you don't have a pair of these, Earthling.
And for the big critters, sometimes you got to bring out the nuclear weaponry.
Loaded for Bear.
Loaded for Bear. Okay, specialty gear. Ranger.
Yes, indeed.
You have the Ranger's Handbook. I have Aurora's Whole Realms catalog. Let's see what we can find for Rangers.
Let's.
All kinds of goodies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. There's the standard stuff you can find in the Player's Handbook, but, boring.
Boring. Yeah.
But handy. I mean, you always need 50 feet of rope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a grappling hook if you can help it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of grappling hooks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We watch too much Batman.
And pythons and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got the standard act. First of all, what do you got, Brian? You got a more official book than I do. So.
Yeah. They have it broken down to into several categories like clothing, and mostly it's for terrain, like abas for the desert, Arctic coats for the frozen land, snowshoes, waterproof boots, which you should always have no matter where you are. Wilderness
always.
Yeah, always. Wilderness harnesses, I should say. As Full-On mentioned in the previous segment, like kayaks, water sled.
Hey, boat boots, which Mythbusters have proven don't work.
The boat boots?
Boat boots.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a logical way that it does work, though. If you're going to wear them, you're still going to need your 10-foot pole.
Yep.
Because you're poling your way along. You're not walking.
Yes, exactly. Right. Nice little things like the camouflage paint kit, and I'm sure, Full-On can say something about that, in his chosen vocation, breathing tubes, which, every adventurer should have, not just Rangers. Because you never know when you may have to hide in a pond to avoid the massive amount of trolls chasing you.
And they even expanded this more with the Ultimate Equipment Guide for D20.
Mm-hmm.
And starting on page 88 in the wild, they have all that stuff and more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you can just port that into any edition you want happily.
Easily.
They have the breathing rope, which is not a rigid tube. It's a flexible hose. Camouflage tarp. They've got, that's where the compass is, your climber's kit masterwork.
Yep.
Body pack, which is essentially your tactical vest.
Right. I got some juicy stuff here. Let's start with dagger boots, which is basically pythons you strap to your boots. And their sharp boots become popular weapons as well.
Oh, yeah.
Boot to the head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boot to the head. Oi. Now, the heavy tread makes a person easier to track, plus 2 to tracking proficiency for the person following. But you get in a bar fight, you're still wearing these. You're doing 1d4, 1d4.
But
kicking.
But that leads into problems. That leads into problems because then that's like what happens? You kick somebody in the head, and those things go into his head and kill him. The first rule of D&D bar fights: don't kill anybody.
Well, okay.
Maybe your bar fights.
Yeah.
Well, you want to end up in jail?
Okay.
Burn the place down. No witnesses.
What else we got here? What else we got? What else we got here? A folding saw.
We'll do it like the votes to kill him.
A folding saw. A tree seat and a tree bed for when you don't want to sleep on the ground or can't sleep on the ground for safety reasons.
Yeah, I can see most like elven characters having that. Yeah.
Forest kit, desert kit.
Here's something you don't think about: a rope ladder. Very easy to carry around in.
Yeah.
To carry around.
Yeah.
And it you don't need the mountaineering proficiency or climb walls check. And,
really? Well, if it has something to latch onto,
True.
I'm just saying.
I know. It's the kind of thing you want to climb down on. You know what I'm saying? You latch it on there, you take it down, get down that small cliff or whatever you want. The usual hunter thing, like hunting traps, provision bags, fishing tackle, fowler snares, hunting knives, field glass. Remember the Moor guy in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Yep, that's what it is. Yep, that's what. How much is it?
They get 25 gold.
Really? Well, that's less expensive than I thought. Oh, insect repellent.
Snowshoes. Skis.
Yep. Sunburn ointment. Even have sun goggles, believe it or not.
Wow.
Well,
yeah. I mean, it's just basically just made out of wood, and you look through narrow slits that reduces, bright, the effects of bright light. Problem is that you can't see so good. Of course, sleeping bags. Let's see, healing kits, scent lures for stuff, for things like for when you're trying to trap a certain animal.
Oh, get this. The tree beds 8 gold pieces, but for an extra 2, they'll include a pitched roof. Turning the tree bed into a private tree tent.
Yep, to keep the rain off you. Exactly.
Now the tree seat is 15. What I found out funny about it was it said the last sentence was not to be used on treants.
Yeah, they kind of take offense to that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's all sorts of things you can use for rangers in this book and that book, and even Player's Handbook right there. And what about the arms and equipment guide? Anybody ever think of that?
Oh, yeah, there should be some things in there. I'd have to grab it. If you can give me a moment, I will grab it off my shelf.
No, tell us right now. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Also,
okay.
I'm looking in the thieves corner of Aurora's. There's a few things that are pertinent to the. Might be a few things that are pertinent to the ranger in here, like clamp gauntlets.
Oh, weapon black for that matter.
Yeah, a nice rope set.
Yep.
Climbing iron.
I have actually had party members use the monster tents.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. How did that work out for him?
Moderate.
Moderate.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, sometimes it was rather amusing.
Oh, I'll bet.
For those that don't know, the monster tents are make a tent out of the hide of some specialized monster. Bigger tents cost more and are of bigger monsters, such as the sleeping bear, the sleeping owl bear, the sleeping dragon.
Wow. Well, you would think a sleeping dragon would hold like 4 or 5 people easy. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that guy doing over there? He's sleeping inside a beholder. I don't even want to know how he got that.
Yep.
And you find the easy access flap for the dragon pit right here where the cloaca is.
Oh God. No.
Lady of beauty. Crikey.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys are terrible. But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of things, to help, to just help the ranger to, ply his trade in the wild a little bit easier. There are plenty of things between these 3 supplements.
Yeah.
4, yeah.
Just making them, and the different publishers outside of TSR who started making stuff. Again, the Ultimate Equipment Guide basically replicates modern tactical field gear D&D style.
Yep.
Wow.
And that's a good thing.
You want an LTE, you got an LTE. You want a tactical rucksack, you got a tactical rucksack. You want all that stuff gets replicated in one form or another because every good idea fairy came out and said, well, that's a good idea. I'm going to use that because that started somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the Ultimate Equipment Guide?
Yes. Supplementary Rulebook 3 for the D20 system published by Mongoose Publishing.
No, Mongoose is good stuff.
Huge. It's excellent. It's 256 pages of every damn thing you could think of.
Wow.
And more.
Yeah. You don't want to give this to a veterans party.
No. Unless you really want to consume all their money.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we've been a little help here, giving you some ideas on what you can use for your ranger. Mm-hmm. You could tell us all about it at thacoshammer@gmail.com and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Now, finally, Dim's Rag.
Well, that's quite a story.
I think it would be fun to run a newspaper. And here it comes, right over the old plate.
The DM's Rag. DM's Rag, this should be interesting. Dungeon number 32, The Wayward Wood.
Yes.
Full on, did you get a look at this?
No. Sell it to me from a player's perspective. I'm encountering your encounter for the first time. Tell me about it.
This is on you,
Well,
Glenn.
you go over the couch.
Oh, wow.
Not that encounter. Okay,
no, not that encounter.
Not that encounter.
This is a family show, folks.
Like I said, Dungeon number 32. It was written by Leonard Wilson, art by Jim Holloway, my favorite guy. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's an adventure for 4 to 6 characters of 6th to 9th level. So you're talking about a medium party here.
Yeah, medium level party.
Well-balanced party should prove most effective. Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It happens.
Here's
well-balanced party, capable of burning down the forest. Got it.
You're way ahead, son.
I'm looking at the level range and thinking, okay, these are the spells they use.
Yes, of course. Okay, this takes place actually it's a generic place. You can put it anywhere. It's Dunsmuir is the town. And there is a wood there called Burnham Wood. Yes. And it takes place... Burnham Wood. I just caught that one myself.
I don't want to burn the ham.
Yeah, burnt ham is not tasty. Anyway, sorry. Go, Glenn.
PCs are contacted by these 2 assistant druids. The main druid is out of town tending to druid things.
I would hope he's out of town.
Anyway, they basically invite themselves over to your table and say, we have a problem. Could you help us? Please. And this is the problem. As luck would have it, the PCs have arrived just in time to witness the strangest and most unsettling chapter in the history of the village. It's about to be run over by the forest.
Okay.
Why, you ask? Well, that's a tale. Well, what you find out is, here's how it goes. Trolls came up from the Underdark because there was volcanic activity under there, and it drove them out of their home. So they come out, and they see a forest, and they say, okay, we'll take up residence in the forest. Well, in the forest also is a tribe of furblog giants who have lived there for many, many generations. And since trolls don't like giants and they're hungry, it's time for war. Okay, fine. So the Furblogs and the trolls start fighting. Well, the head of the giants finally figures out this is a war of attrition, because we can make short work of a few trolls. They can regenerate. So we got to do something, and he finally decided to resort to fire.
Kill it with fire.
The Furblogs and the treants are friendly to each other. Used to be anyway. And this is something like a treant court in this forest. And the queen, who has not been on the throne for very long, sends an order to the Furblog chief saying, don't use fire. Because she's protective of the forest and her people.
Naturally.
And he comes back and he says, I'm sorry, we have to. Forget it. We're going to use fire.
Yep.
So, in her wisdom, she decides to move the forest away from the fire and the fight. She turns to her advisor, who happens to know magic user spells, saying, make it so. He looks at her. He looks back at the forest. He looks at her again, shrugs his shoulders, and, okay, cast spells. So the
treants have shoulders?
So the trees start. So the trees start moving. And they're moving at something like 15 miles a day.
That's pretty fast.
Or, sorry, 5 miles a day.
Okay, that's more reasonable. Yeah.
And guess what? The fight's moving with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Furblogs feel like they're out in the open for the trolls because they'll just decimate them. And the trolls are moving for the forest because they've never seen forests before. They don't know that trees don't do this. Plus, every time the trees move, the sun, get in the trees.
Yeah.
So basically, there's this moving forest heading towards the town and a moving fight behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to figure out how to fix this, because in about 6 days,
mm-hmm.
they're going to run over the town.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Before they get to the town, there's this roadhouse inn that the trolls got there first and totally decimated everybody except a serving wench and a dog. And that's basically where the set piece for the final confrontation takes place.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you have to do. That's the setup right there.
Yeah. Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
And you were telling me, Brian, this is pretty depressing?
Well, I mean, I take that back, because I've been reading it a little bit in better depth since, once you started your explanation. It's one of those things where
pick a side, stick with it.
Yeah, well, if your characters are good alignment, you have a ranger, there's only one side to take. See, the only thing is that there are a whole lot of trolls. 36 of them. No, make it 37 right. With the chief. With the chieftain.
That's right.
That's a lot of trolls. And
troll packs are fun.
Oh, only if you got fireballs available.
There's a pretty good sized tribe of Furblogs too.
Yeah, but they got whittled down.
They've taken hits.
Yeah, they got whittled down. And the thing is that the party has to figure out a way to take the trolls out without burning the forest down, and then making the treants upset at you. This is what I was talking about with random wayward uses of fireball spells, full on. Yes. I know you like to blow things up and make them burn, but there are some instances where that's not a good idea.
Also have 6 days. What?
Chain lightning, acid arrow.
Yeah. If you have access to acid-based spells, it will help a whole lot.
And you have a 6-day window. You don't even have 6 days, I don't think, because if you remember in the movie Lord of the Rings and in the books and stuff, remember when Merry and Pippin were the treants and they had their conference?
Yeah.
It's 6 hours. We just said hello.
Yep.
This is the kind of thing that happens when you try to get the trees to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to take about a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
At least. So you don't even have 6 days, I don't think. There's a timeline.
Well, there's a couple of different concepts you could go with here. You can try to target the trolls specific to give them nothing, to take out what the target of the fight is. You can try to convince them to change the direction of march and simply not have the forest overrun the village.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
you fortify the village to prepare for the siege of having the forest come around it, the fight come around it, and continue to move on.
Mm-hmm.
You could possibly enlist the furbolgs in building the super trenches you're going to need to do a dry moat around the town to protect it from that.
Or the tavern. If you could stop them at the tavern, that'd be great.
Yeah, or you could do a Beastmaster thing and make a moat, but fill it with like oil.
Fire, yeah. Fire.
They say the best solution would be to get the furblogs and the treants to work together against the trolls.
Yeah, but it still doesn't. The problem is it still doesn't help that much because the trolls regenerate. There still is that problem, and that's where I think that's where all three factions, being the PCs, the furbolgs, and the treants, they all work together, and the PCs have to come up with a way to inflict the most amount of damage on the trolls without burning down the forest.
Well, if you're going to use the inn as a last stand, you get the furblogs to help you by shoring stuff up and digging ditches, and then basically get the treants to move all the trees out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to use fire, you can use it.
Right.
Or
like I said,
plan the fire breaks, have them make areas that are designed to contain the fire that you're going to have to use.
Right.
Yep.
I ran this scenario before,
mm-hmm.
and basically we had a mage with Melf's acid arrows. That really helped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that took down about half of them right there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he also had Melf's acid rain.
We'll see. Yeah, having that kind of spell would do wonders. Just absolutely.
Plus having a big.
Uses the previously podcast spoken about spells and magic to customize a spell and turn Ice Storm into Acid Storm.
There you go.
Acid Storm exists, but it's a 7th level spell, unfortunately.
We had the mage doing that,
or a minor Acid Storm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had the mage doing that, and the ranger sitting in a bonfire with a ring of fire protection on, shooting fire arrows at him.
That's a very good idea. That actually works extremely well. You just can't let the fire get above a certain level.
Right. You light them up with the arrows, and they won't go near you because you're in the middle of a bonfire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ring of fire protection. You just coat him in oil, set him on fire, and set his blades on fire, and let him go sick. Just let him go to town.
Yeah, fire protection, coat him with oil, and do a berserker on him.
Yeah.
Take off all your clothes. Okay, light me up. Go.
If you're going to use fire, get the fire control spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Control normal fires.
Yes, that's a very good
So you
spell.
can direct them where to go.
Yep.
Or better yet,
Pyrotechnics.
Put the Holocaust cloak in your game.
Holocaust cloak?
Yeah. Did you see Princess Bride?
No. I don't
remember. Why didn't you list it among our assets?
Yes. I mean, they put Andre the Giant in the Holocaust cloak, and they carry him in the wheel. I am the Dwayne Twilight.
Oh, that, yes. Oh.
There will be no survivors. I have come for your souls.
Okay, light him up. And just have bear hug him.
Mm-hmm.
And there are different approaches too. I mean, yeah, they regenerate, but they don't regenerate when they're frozen.
Yeah, they do. Just very slowly.
But yeah, again, they're frozen. So you can go the ice route if you're not going to go the fire route, and you're going to contain the trolls for later destruction.
Mm-hmm.
They also made the point in this scenario that the giants cannot be resurrected or raised because the trolls already ate them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're
turn the tables on that. Feed the trolls to the giants. There's acid in giant stomachs.
That's true, and you taste just like chicken. I hear.
Tastes just like chicken. I don't want to know. Yeah, I'm looking at this, and it shows that the furbolgs have plenty of fire generating items like torches and 5 20-gallon barrels of oil.
Right.
The easiest thing to do is to say, okay, you want to take care of these guys, okay, but let's do it our way. We're gonna go to this. We're going to find a place where we can make a stand, and we can sort of direct the treants away from it, and we'll just draw the trolls there and we will burn them out. I mean, basically, you're going to have to set fire to an entire village. Or
at least the inn.
The inn. I'm sorry, the inn and the two buildings. In order to at least whittle down the numbers enough to where there's a fairly good chance that the party is going to win, along with the furballs.
It takes a bit of cunning with that too, because you just can't make it blatant. You want to be able to set up a situation where you can bait in as many of the trolls as possible into one location, and then set it on fire.
Yep.
See, and also they say the female leader of the trolls is quite clever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never going to fall for that. Yeah.
She's no dummy unless they're not with her.
Well, that's
she sends out a raiding party. Without her, they said they'll fall for anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dump the oil down the chimney and shoot a flaming arrow down it. They'll get it. They won't even think twice.
Boom.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Or even just pour the oil down in there and just have a mage cast fireball on the inn.
Here, some bird.
There's you don't have to use fireball.
Mm-hmm.
You can do interesting results with fire trap.
Fire trap.
Yep. Fire trap.
Burning hands.
Yep.
Fire finger.
Yep.
I mean, damn it. No black powder in D&D. It's like, oh man, we get so much fun with explosives.
Oh, that's where I let a little bit of science into my game, and we nuked a farmhouse completely. Literally, it shook the earth and made people in the nearby village concerned, because we took a prepared ambush area of a barn with sacks of flour that had been rigged with fire trap.
Flour explodes.
We had aerosolized flour is a dramatic explosive. So you bait the giants into smashing the bags of flour, which bursts the bags of flour into a cloud of flour that then gets hit with the fire trap, and boom. We coated everything with tar and pitch to make it even worse. Tar, pitch, oil, flour, fire trap. We had an interesting result, and it did in the end state of it was a noticeable boom.
Yeah, I'm also thinking of the old MacGyver thing of putting tar on pine cones and lighting them on fire. They go boom too.
Yes, they do. Very much so. But you see, my whole thing
is MacGyverism, but
yeah, MacGyver. Yeah, we could go on about that, but let's not.
I only have one question. Full on.
Yes.
Are you going to make North Texas RPG Con? And if you do, I need to get in a game with you.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends on whether or not I sell houses, and when or if not I get promoted and forced by the army to move elsewhere.
Let's hope not.
Well, let's hope you don't get forced by the army. But folks, we got to get him there. We've got to play with this man. I don't know if I want to DM with this man. I'm a little afraid, but. Anyway, the Wayward Wood. It's in Dragon number 32. I think it's great. What do you guys think? What's your review? What's your take on this? What's your review?
I'll give it
5 stars. Or what?
I'll give it 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay. How come? How come, Brian?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, with me, and I've said this about a previous adventure. It's the author being a little too clever with his story. I mean, it's one of these things where there are only a few actions the party can take that will come out favorably for them, and even then, only if they plan it out exactly right and they're lucky. On top of it, it could be a disaster very easily. And
good.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a good adventure, just not great.
Okay. You got to work the angles to try to come up with the creative solutions to some of the problems presented. Yes, this story has been done 1,000 times before. You can find it in print and movies and TV shows all the time, and there are different ways to take out the elements. You can try to assassinate the very clever troll leader. You can try to bait them and take them piecemeal. You can try to take them all at once. You can, work the angles to try to get the cooperation, but how political and sociable are your party members going to be with that? That may or may not work. So eliminate the furbolgs as a problem so that they just let the trolls occupy the forest.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, but I'm looking at the encounter in the inn. Yeah, this is the place where you absolutely have to take the trolls out. There's no.
This is the last stand, right?
Yeah,
there.
there's no failure here. I mean, if you've got the furbolgs with you, it will be much easier. But yeah, if the party tries to do it themselves,
it reminds me a little bit of a kind of a small version of the Siege of Caddy's Freehold.
It's the Alamo. It's your standard survival zombie apocalypse thing. It's feast.
Okay.
Let's take over the farmhouse and keep the zombies out. Okay, see how long that works.
I get you with the side order of weirdness with the trees moving, but So I'm going to give it you're going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 4.5 because it's one of my personal favorites. I've run it before, and it gets really interesting once you toss the PCs in there.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. It just all depends on if the PCs are.
It's very memorable.
Yeah, and you do like the memorable adventures. We know.
Don't we all? I mean, that's what we're playing for, isn't it?
Something like that. Well, some people are
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm old. That's all I have for memories of gaming.
All I have is my memories. Yeah.
And my dice.
And the kill markers hanging on my Dungeon Master screen. Oh, wait.
Wow. Oh, God.
I do not actually do that anymore.
Well, anymore. Exactly. But the fact that you did.
3, 3, and 4.5. What does that average out to?
What? That's 3, 4.5. That's 11. That's about 3 and 3.75. Okay.
3.75. Okay, we'll give it an average of 3.75. Check it out, Dungeon number 32. And looks like we're going to close another Splat Book.
Yes, we are.
It has been really a lot of fun this time, guys. Talking about stuff that can kill us.
And, the great outdoors.
How you never want to go camping ever again.
There's trolls out there.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's time for us to go, folks. Say goodbye, Full-On.
Goodbye, Gamer Nation. We'll see you again when the hammer comes down on the troll.
You got it. And Brian?
The burning hammer, you mean? Good night, everybody. Until then, no big deal.
The flaming hammer. It's fabulous.
This is
wow.
This is DM Glens. This is DM Glen says stay out of the trees when they're moving, and we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.